Hello, my name is Chef Satia, and all I want to do is feed you well. So I went on an edible excursion, and I had the opportunity to go to Houston. And I was excited about this because I keep hearing about how delicious and plentiful and flavorful Houston cuisine is. But this time, what I wanted to do was make sure that I hit up an Afro-diasporic table, several. And I kept hearing about this one place over and over and over and over and over again. And it's called the ChòpnBlọk. A little background from what I know about the ChòpnBlọk. I had the opportunity to meet the owner, Ope. And the ChòpnBlọk started in 2018. And the initial Ope started out doing private dinners under the theme of Chopped and Stewed, which is a play on words, like Chopped and Screwed, Houston. And then in 2021, they opened up a spot in the post food hall. So the food hall it's an institution. It's a historical institution. It used to be the Barbara Jordan post office. And there are several other shops in there, restaurants in there, and that's where they started their first pop-up. And then in 2024, they opened ChòpnBlọk Montrose, which is their first brick and mortar, fully functioning, running restaurant. So as you know, I go on several edible excursions, and this one in particular was important for me. So there's a two-part to it. We wanted to think about hitting luxury tables, premium tables. We want to eat well. But it was critical that we found several places that have a table set for us, a table set for the diaspora. And I am so glad that you guys, y'all are on me. You were like, make sure you hit up these places. But I also hit up other places, which I'll talk about as well. I created a list of my 10 favorite places, and then a top 8 of the Afro-diasporic. And I want you guys to let me know your thoughts, and if there's places that I was not able to get to, but you stand by. Not sure if I mentioned this. They do have a happy hour. They cater. They are so accommodating, especially on their catering menu, which is rare. They're accommodating on their restaurant menu, which is a rarity, and it works for them. There's a lot of reasons why, but I want you to think about why that works for them, especially with the menu type that they have. So I made my reservation on an open table for 8 p.m. So happy hour, I believe, was from 3:30 to 6:30, and there was an extension because a DJ was there, and the DJ was there to 8 p.m. But the DJ was still there when I got there. The DJ was still there when I left. It's important to say that this week is also Afrotech week. So we were mindful that I didn't get seated right away, and that's okay. They made sure that those of us who were waiting, because there were people waiting all throughout by the door, closer to the back, and on the side, that everyone was good. If you asked for a menu, they handed you a menu. You were able to, have a drink. You can go and sit at the bar as well. I was not wanting to sit at the bar. I did not want to sit at the bar, and I made that clear because I knew what my table would look like. And I wanted to try the things that I wanted to try. Now, where was I? So we were talking about, they say they are the #1 West African cuisine in the diaspora. So of course I had to come and try it. And I really haven't I wasn't able to get into deep conversation. They were so busy. However, the owner himself did make his way to the tables. He made his way over to introduce himself and talk to me. But I wanted to dive into the menu. So this is where the staff and everybody else comes in, and how incredibly intentional that they are. So they have culinary artists as the wait staff, as the hostess, participating in this. So they are well versed as well in what is being served, how it is being served, the history of it, the spices. Oh, I can speak for my person. Her name was Tiffany, and she knew her stuff. I'm gonna look over here at the menu and let you know what I ordered. I'm gonna tell you now, there's 7 entrees on the menu. I ordered 3. There are about 7 small chop. I ordered 4. Yeah. So they called the block pairings. So it's ChòpnBlọk and then the block pairings. And it's halal style. And again, remember I said they make accommodations. So there's different things on the menu. They are so well versed in, depending on what it is that you want or have a taste for, they kind of put together something for you. So I had the golden, which is smoky jollof jambalaya, motherland curry, block chicken. I sub steak for chicken. I'm not a chicken eater. Vegetable stew plantains. I don't want no problem. And then I was going to get green and tings, which is Liberian rice and greens, right? Then I ordered the buka, which is steamed rice and beans with short rib. So I did Auntie Mawa's watche fried rice, Senegalese peanut curry, plantains, seasonal vegetables. I did not get any protein with that. I wanted it just how it's served. That is the vegetarian dish. And it was delicious. I wanted something with, I like peanut curry. So I love this Filipino dish called kare kare, which is the same. It's beef stewed in a peanut sauce. So what she did so well was we put together the golden, and instead of putting the jollof with that, we put the jollof with the buka. That way I didn't have to have the steamed rice and beans, and then the Liberian rice and greens with the golden and the mother curry. So again, let me run this back. I want to be very clear on how delicious and intentional it was. I'm going to show video and show pictures. So I got the golden with the smoky, I got the golden with the Liberian rice and greens and steak, okay? And I want to say the steak even had like fried black eyed peas on there. Listen, a vibe. Then I got the buka with jollof rice and short ribs, and it was in red stew. I like red stew. And those also came with plantains. And then I got the watche fried rice with the Senegalese peanut curry with plantains and seasonal vegetables. And I had that just as is without any protein. So those were my 3 entrees. It was going to be 4 entrees. And she suggested brilliantly that why get all of those things when I wanted to try curry. It made all the sense. Okay, let's talk about the small chops. These are more appetizers instead of a amuse-bouche because it's not a bite, because there are several bites. And these are big plates considering that it was an appetizer. So I got the meat veggie pie minis, which is a fun size West African. I'm bringing straight from the menu. Beef vegetable pastry. Then I got the Polo Club Suya, which is grilled beef skewers, and that had the traditional peanut pepper sauce on it. But it was something else that was there. Pickled onions was also on the plate. Perfect bites. I got the deviled Scotch egg, which is colonial Scotch egg, reimagined with spiced turkey and deviled egg filling. And then lastly, I got the seared Cameroon pepper prawns. So I had those both on my plate. I put the pepper prawns on the plate. Okay, back to what I was saying. I put the shrimp, the pepper shrimp, on the plates with the deviled egg because, flavor profile. Let's talk about it a little bit. The flavor of the shrimp, because it had the pepper sauce on there, and the deviled egg was just a deviled egg. So it wasn't topped with anything. It had the outside of it, with the ground turkey that was fried. But adding the shrimp on top of that, gave it life. It was exceptional. So the spices and the flavor, every single bite of every single thing was flavorful. If I could have got everything on the menu, I would have, but everything was heavily rice, and I didn't want to get, want to have a lot of rice. And not so much a lot of rice, but a lot of the same rice. So because of the way the menu is set up, when you talk to, and be mindful and do this, let this be, especially restaurants that are accommodating and have menus that are reflective of that, so that you are able to have a taste of everything. So I had the motherland curry, but then I also was able to have the peanut curry, right? Because of the way we move the dishes around, the way Tiffany was so intentional about making sure that I had the experience that I told her I wanted to have. So all in all, I love this place. It's on the list. It's on anytime someone says, where should I go when I visit Houston? I have 3 places that are for sure. But ChòpnBlọk is up there. It will not break the bank. I couldn't believe it, because he could if he wanted to. I could not believe it. The staff was well versed. The music was on point. The atmosphere was just beautiful. The art was beautiful. The texture on the walls was beautiful. I was really impressed by the staff. I was really impressed, especially with Tiffany being so well versed. She said she's a culinary artist herself. And I think somewhere in their description or explain who they are, they're intentional about having culinary artists in the room. It makes sense, right? So I'm going to give this a 4.8, a good 4.8 out of 5. It was epic. It really was. It was just really, really good. Every tongue is like, girl, y'all did that. Y'all did that. Exceptional. You fed me well.